What's going on, everybody? This is Island Hopper TV podcast, and today we're going to talk about the countries with the best value. And I think I found the one that I'm going to have to say is the absolute overall best. And a lot of people aren't talking about it, so that's why I'm making this video. So, as you go around, people are like, where do you get the cheap travel? Where do you get the quality? Where do you get the value? The value basically is if you're paying a lot of money, are you getting what you're paying for? In the U.S. or Europe, you might pay $300 to $400 a night for a courtyard Marriott, and you're not getting good customer service. The room might not be in good shape, might have like smell to it, must, who knows what it is, and you're just like, man, that's not very good value. And everything feels kind of rushed. The food quality is not very good, and you're paying $30 to $40 a meal for something that in other places maybe costs $15 a meal and tastes better, or the transportation, whether it be taking a flight or taking an Uber or taking a taxi. In Miami, for example, you go around Miami, you pay $40 to $50 for a taxi to go 5 miles, whereas in Thailand to go 5 miles, you're only paying, or Vietnam and Da Nang, you're only paying like $5 or $10. So I mean, that's a value, right? And maybe the customer service is even better in Da Nang or in Thailand than you would get in, say, Miami. I'm bringing this up because, these are things that people consider. And it's not just Miami, it's also in Paris, it's also in other places around the world that are first world or developed countries that, charge through the roof prices. You see this even in the Caribbean. So I'm going to give you guys some insight into what I've seen here recently with all my travel. I travel full time. You guys already know that. All right. So when most people talk about value, they're talking about Vietnam, Thailand, maybe Bali comes up, and that's great. But here recently, I went to China. You guys have probably seen my video series that I did in China. And the thing about China, it's not very expensive. I mean, it's pricey. It can be pricey, but the value, it's modern, it's clean, it's safe, the people are friendly. The downside to it, though, you have to get the situation set up to be able to access Google or WhatsApp, with the VPNs or whatever. If you don't have that, then you're basically without communication with your mom and your work or anything like that. So people have to do that. And usually people get that for like $7.99 a month. Surfshark or something like NordVPN. I mean, those work, or Let's VPN is another good one. But once you get around that and you figure out how to use Alipay, because everything pretty much goes through Alipay, you start to realize, like, hey, I'm in the sync, I'm in the rhythm here, I understand how China works. And then once you understand how China works, it all starts kind of smooth sailing. And you get to ride a train. For example, if you wanted to ride the train, high speed train, you're not going to find this Amtrak, slow moving train ticket for this price. I mean, the price for even business class. Business class is basically like first class, but they call it business class. First class is like one step below, and then second class, and then economy. But a business class ticket to go maybe the distance of, say, Shenzhen to, I don't know, Guangzhou. Maybe you could go there in 30 minutes if you take the fast train. You could go there in about an hour and 10 minutes if you take the slow moving train. But you can sit in business class, okay, or yeah, business class for around like $20 to $30, sometimes a little bit more, but let's just say under $50. And that's a business class ticket, guys. That's a nice capsule seat. Okay, so the value there with the transportation, I mean, you can effectively get around China by train. You don't always have to go in and out of airports. Everything is modernizing. It's not just modern, it's modernizing. There's construction and infrastructure development happening everywhere. And this is modern infrastructure that you're going to find, it's world class infrastructure. What people thought China was maybe 50 years ago or 40 years ago, it's totally changed. I mean, it's superistic, it's super sci fi, it's futuristic, and, it's quite amazing. But you look at a hotel, say JW Marriott or the St. Regis or something like that, you're staying for around $200 a night or less. Actually, I've stayed in JW Marriott's for like $120 a night. In big cities like Chongqing or even in Guangzhou, I stayed at a beautiful Marriott hotel, world class Marriott, right there in the city center. And it had a sauna, it had a spa, jacuzzi, it had a big world class gym. I mean, all of that with easy access to the metro right in the middle of the city there for like $120 a night. And that included lounge access for me because I have status with Marriott. So, I mean, if I wanted to, I could go in there and, eat a dinner and get some drinks in the evening time, get a coffee in the morning, get a breakfast. So I mean, look at all that value right there. You're not going to find that in any American city like Chicago or any city in America with that kind of value. And the food is good. It's a wide variety of food. That's another thing. Food. I mean, typically I was eating for like 15 to 20 yuan for like a nice wonton noodle or something. If you just type in how much is a US dollar to a yuan, I think it's like 6.7 yuan to $1. So like that's like $3, okay? $3 for a meal. And that's a pretty common price. Of course, if you go to like a high-end restaurant, you'll pay more. But if you just eat, live like a local in most of these places, you can stay at like a JW Marriott or a Marriott or even a Hilton for like $120 a night, which is a really nice hotel. You could get it even cheaper if you just wanted to stay in like a regular hotel. I mean, for like $20 to $30 a night, it's going to get you a really good value. But I'm just saying, if you wanted that luxury experience, and I say $120 a night because in the US, that's how much a Motel 6 costs. And we all know about Motel 6 or a Super 8 for $120 a night in Denver or in Nashville. I mean, come on, that's like ridiculous pricing, right? For that quality, if you compare it to a JW Marriott in the city center in a city in China, or a Greyhound bus versus a bus here, or the Amtrak versus a train here. I mean, the value is just there. And I don't think you're going to find any better infrastructure anywhere in the world. I mean, Europe doesn't have it. The U.S. doesn't have it. U.S. has nice roads. It's not that I'm, trying to harp on the U.S. I'm just saying, like right here, right now, China has great infrastructure and it's good value with good customer service. Of course, there's a language barrier, but the language barrier is easily overcome by Google Translate, and it's not like you need to be like actively conversating with everybody everywhere you go. I mean, some people speak English, but I would say about 80% of the population doesn't, and that's okay. It's like it's not that big of a deal. It's definitely not a deal breaker considering all the value. It's actually kind of fun. It's like I told my friend, it's like GTA meets Zelda. That's what China felt like when I first got here for like the first week. It was like GTA plus Zelda equals China, because it's like you're like as you're going, you're like unlocking new things. It's like a real life video game, because like you're like, oh man, I just realized about Mitaiwan, how to order food. I just realized how to use Alipay even more enhanced. I just figured out Didi. I just got my Didi account approved. I just got my public transportation for Beijing card approved. I can go anywhere in Beijing, and you're just like getting all these like unlocks as you go. It's kind of fun, and so it's a real good experience. Another place that also comes up, Vietnam. You know, People always say, "Oh, Vietnam's so cheap." Well, Saigon isn't really that cheap. Yeah, sure, you can get some good value in Da Nang, but I mean, you're not going to get that kind of value in Vietnam that you get in China. I mean, the infrastructure is improving in Vietnam, and everyone's all hyped up on Vietnam. But the truth is, anyone who comes to China is going to see the difference between Vietnam and China, and they're just going to be like, "Whoa, China's way ahead." People just don't think China when they think about travel to Asia. Like even for me, I was just like, China was never really on the radar. But now that I'm here, I'm like, or I've been here in China, I'm just like, wow, this place is amazing. So Vietnam, that's another place where you're going to get great value, and I'm sure in some cases you can get even better value in some of the villages than you would get in China. But I mean, Vietnam's up there. It's just Vietnam's a small country if you look on a map compared to China. I mean, China's huge. There's so many more regions. It's like there's Vietnam-sized provinces, okay, Yunnan, or maybe going over towards Tibet, or going over towards another place in the north in the Manchuria area, or going towards Szechuan. I mean, they're almost the size in landmass of Vietnam. So I mean, it's kind of crazy. But Thailand, obviously, that's another place that people go and they get good value. But a lot of the Western tourists are going there and driving up the prices in places like Phuket or Bangkok. Even Chiang Mai is experiencing a price explosion. A lot of people go to Jomtien nowadays. They go to Hua Hin. But during peak season, I mean, prices just shoot up really high. You don't deal with that kind of mass tourism influx overwhelming the hotels, except for during the holidays. Anytime there's a holiday in China, it's just overcrowded. And actually, some places in like Beijing, like the Forbidden City, in the morning time, I think every single day is just very busy. I mean, there's some places it doesn't matter if it's a holiday or not. But if you avoid the weekends and the holidays in the main tourist areas, you're not going to be overwhelmed with pricing at all. Uh, Another place, if you wanted to get like out of Asia and you're just like, I don't want to, only do Asia, Well, I think you can still get good value in Mexico. Not necessarily in Tulum or Cancun, but you go out to some of those more traditional villages or areas like, I don't know, maybe Guanajuato or San Miguel de Allende. I've had some really good experiences in those towns. The thing about Mexico, though, it's dangerous. Obviously, driving isn't very safe as well. Like a lot of people ask me if they should get a rental car in Mexico. I'm like, absolutely not. Actually, I don't recommend getting a rental car in Thailand either, or even China or any of those places, because you're a foreigner. You're not used to the rules of the road. So some places I will get a rental car. Like I'll get a rental car in Costa Rica. That's fine. And most Caribbean islands I will, but Mexico I would say no, it's not too safe. I mean, there are parts of Mexico that are probably safe, but another thing about Mexico that I don't like driving there is the road stops. Things can happen on those road stops, but overall, Mexico does have a really good tourist experience if you can get beyond everything that's slowing you down. Another place I went last year that was pretty good pricing was Georgia. I thought you got good value in Georgia compared to other places in Europe, at least. I mean, they had lots of mountains. It was beautiful up there in those mountains, in those villages. You got a lot of culture. You're nearby Dagestan, which is in Russia. Made me want to go to Russia, but obviously we can't go to Russia. And actually, it's not too far north of even Iran, actually, because I went down to Armenia, which is a lot more expensive than Georgia, actually. Like I was in Yerevan, I was like, wow, these are not the comparable prices to Tbilisi. Tbilisi was considerably more affordable than Yerevan in Armenia. But yeah, it was actually a really good pricing. Also in Turkey. Now Turkey's one of those places you can get good, cheap, affordable hotels easily. But the thing is, they love to overcharge tourists. The second they know you're a tourist, they're charging like 5 to 10 times more than they charge a local for a taxi. So basically, you just got to use the apps. Like, never try to just walk in there and book a hotel straight at the front desk. Book on the apps. When you book the taxi, try to use Uber, right? Try to use the app so you're getting guaranteed pricing, not these like upsells that happen in Turkey. And if you do that, you can get good pricing. You just need to make sure the price is fixed in Turkey and you'll get that good value. A lot of people say Philippines. Philippines is affordable except for in Manila. Manila is not affordable. For some reason, Manila thinks it's like, I don't know. It's like Manila and Jakarta, they think they're, Beijing and Shanghai or Bangkok even, and they're not. Manila is just, the value in Manila is not there. But once you get out in the province and places out where the, beaches are and all that, that's when the value of Philippines really kicks in. They got some of the best beaches in the world. They speak English very fluently around there. And I think it's a strong value tropical destination. Obviously, India has to make the list. It's just depending on your tolerance of crowds, noises, um, food. Food can be an issue there. I mean, people are generally friendly in India. They also have pretty good proficiency at speaking English. It's just the thing you got to watch out for is the food, and then just the crowds. I would say those crowds in some places it can be really overwhelming. But India is very affordable. It's one of the cheapest countries in the world overall, and the quality is not like China at all. Like you ride a train in India versus China, it's not even comparable. It's not even comparable. Some people have tried to say like India is modern and everything, and I'm sure maybe it is in places like Bangalore or something like that, and like some pockets of the city they've got skyscrapers, but it's nothing on the level of China. Anyone who tells you that it is not telling the truth. I don't pick a side. It's not about picking a side or playing favorites here. It's just about telling it like it is. But I would say if you're really looking for best budget travel destination right off the bat, Thailand's still number one. If you are looking to go to Asia, Vietnam's a close second. Laos is like a number three. That's like a maybe like if you're a more experienced traveler looking for something cheap, you can get something cheap in Cambodia or Laos. If you're trying to stay in the Americas where you're going to find affordability, I found Panama to be of good value. Also, Ecuador is of good value. Colombia is good value, but it's dangerous. Ecuador is not dangerous. Well, it can be if you're in Guayaquil, but if you go to like, Quito or some of those areas, it's not that bad. I thought Peru was a good value in most cases. Again, they try to, upsell you a little bit because you're a tourist. But Santiago or Chile, a bit more expensive. Argentina, a bit more expensive. I thought you get good value in Brazil, but again, it's like the Colombia situation, a bit dangerous. So I mean, Thailand is just it's for the most part it's safe. I mean, you always have to be aware of your surroundings. I have to put that out there because if I don't, people will say, "Oh, you told me it's safe," and look at this. Like the thing, every place has its things. Whether it's the heat exhaustion, or driving, or riding a motor scooter, like it is in Bali. Like don't ride motor scooters. Actually, I would say don't ride motor scooters anywhere unless you're like an expert motor scooter driver. Because I mean, this has become an issue. I've seen so many people getting injured on these motor scooters, and so I would say uh, be cautious with that. I thought Belize was of good value. Mexico, of course, we've already talked about that, but Guatemala was decent value. I mean, they don't have modern infrastructure, and the roads are really windy. It's a lot of mountains and stuff. But Guatemala's got friendly people and good culture with the Mayans. Uh, in the Caribbean, it's Dominican Republic. You can get good value there, I would say, and beautiful beaches. A little bit sketchy at times. You got to be on your A game at times. You can't really let your guard down too much in Dominican Republic. But in terms of the Caribbean, it's definitely probably the best place for value. It's a big country too. I mean, it splits. Hispaniola is the name of the island. It's split between Haiti and DR on the east coast. But another place that I thought got good value in the Caribbean was like St. Kitts and Nevis. They don't have the best beaches, but it's a good Caribbean destination, not too expensive. Barbados is all right in terms of pricing. I would say for a Caribbean destination, it's got pretty good value. Anguilla's too expensive. St. Martin was too expensive. A lot of the places in the Caribbean are expensive, and rightfully so. It's a beautiful place. Bahamas is just ridiculously expensive. Don't even try it. It's not even worth it. Bahamas, I mean, maybe if you can get out of the Nassau, but the thing is, most tourists end up in Nassau anyway, and they can't even get out of the Nassau because there's not much accessibility to get out there to like the Exumas or something. But anyways, guys, if you're going to Europe, we already talked about it. Georgia, I thought Serbia was a really good value. That whole area around the Balkans. Croatia used to be a good value. It's gone up in price, so now you got to go to like Sarajevo in Bosnia or something like that. Serbia, Albania, Montenegro, or maybe even Macedonia. That whole area. Prices are probably where you're going to find the cheap stuff in Europe. Maybe like Estonia or Latvia, Lithuania has decent pricing, but I mean it's still being impacted. Also, Poland has decent prices, but it's going up as well. I mean, for Europe, I would say Poland is probably a pretty good value compared to the Western Europe. But other than that, I would say those are the main places. Australia's expensive. New Zealand's expensive. I would say New Zealand's more affordable than Australia from my experience. Places in Australia that were pretty good value was like Cairns. I thought had decent pricing and it was a good value. That's right next to the Great Barrier Reef. I thought Sydney was incredibly expensive. Melbourne's incredibly expensive. Perth is expensive, but it's manageable, and it's actually really worth it to go visit Perth if you ever wanted to. But anyways, guys, that's gonna do it for this one. Let me know in the comments which one you think is your favorite countries, and we'll see you on the next one. Click our links right here.